Hi Libra guys, this is your Ching online reading for relationships meant to help you gain insight into and influence what's influencing a relationship. So let's get right to it. The first card is in your position, and it's meant to give you a little bit more knowledge about the grounding of this relationship, what's influencing the foundation of the groundedness of this relationship. And it also is meant to reveal where at present each partner is coming from. So you have hexagram 42, which is increase. We're going to find out what your partner's is after we reveal what this hexagram means for you. It's meant to expose the strength and firmness in the relationship, but it also can show what's undermining security of the relationship in each of you. So increase generally is it's a good omen. Increase is all that is nourishing and uplifting within yourself. This is a really good time of golden opportunity for you. And as the saying goes, it's far sweeter to give than it is to receive. So these days, it's rare to hear of sincere acts of generosity in society. These kinds of random acts of kindness we don't read about in the paper, but they do exist. The other day I saw a YouTube video of a man who just decided for the entire day he would film himself offering to do something nice for people, and you'd be surprised at how many people just didn't trust him. Anyways, when we hear about something like that and how that can benefit someone's life, it does tend to touch a warm spot in our heart, because if it can help just those little people, those few people that it helped, it can help the entire world just by the way that that spreads around. So how can you experience this increase in your life? Well, if somebody isn't coming up to you and offering to do something nice for you, maybe you can go and take a walk in nature and just see how generous and how rich beauty and grandeur of nature is. And that's available to everybody, whether they deserve it or they don't. So the increase card is generally telling you to look into nature for guidance and look at nature as that abundant source of just generosity. And if you can kind of mimic nature, you might become more attuned to the compassion and even experience a little bit more serenity in your own unlimited ability to nurture yourself and others. So learning some lessons from nature might inspire you to kind of see how you can nurture others a little bit more. So for your partner, we have hexagram number 12, which is stand still. Now, again, this card can be telling you strengths and also some of the undermining factors at hand in this relationship. So standstill really is when everything that was just going quite well suddenly stops, and there is no real reason for that. It can be kind of miscommunication when something is said but something completely different is understood, and it just generally will increase difficulty and delay. It's kind of like trying to shovel sand in the desert. So even if you're trying to restore something, you're eventually going to get exhausted if you can't communicate clearly. Sometimes the outer circumstances can create a kind of inner crisis that will leave you feeling like you failed. So this card can say that if in the past you've linked an identity with something and suddenly you can't hear it, it can just be challenging your identity. This kind of standstill can be found in various aspects of any situation. So what is a way to overcome it? Well, basically trying to just hang in there, thinking that things are going to change because you don't know what else to do won't be helpful. So this is telling you that if there is some sort of standstill, you're not approaching it right by doing that. But the best thing to do is to take a break, turn that focus inward, and just get reacquainted with little things that help you feel like you have inner strength. Whether that's, that little cup of tea that you make for yourself, or whatever, a bath, the little things. And if you've been hoping for a miracle, or just a miracle worker to just give you the answer, that might also be keeping you stuck. So basically it's about melting the ice within and then restoring connection. So this could mean maybe your partner just needs to melt a little bit of that ice in their heart before they think that any kind of communication is just plain and apparent. So maybe just a day out in the sunshine, or a trip to a tanning bed. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. And as a bonus, you'll be preparing yourself, Libra partner, to emerge when the time is right and in tune with the spring thaw that is going to eventually come. Don't worry. So the next two cards, Libra, they depict the emotional climate, and they really focus on the dynamic that supports the harmony within each of you and on the challenges that each of you face in assuming greater responsibility to clear up discord or to unblock the communication. These cards are in the heart position, and as such can really uncover areas that you're vulnerable and where you lack trust within the relationship. So you have hexagram number 7, Libra, which is discipline. This card can also show you the way to overcome emotional wounds, or just see how some of the habits that you've created have been holding you back. So discipline is a really interesting hexagram to get, because it's really telling you that you're going to need your own discipline to overcome certain things and to really get back in touch with your core heart space. So this is telling you that you need to release emotional excess and do not be daunted by chaos. It might seem like things are just trying to get in the way of your foundation. It's not a time to act really quickly to stop it, but it's not a time to just let it go. So you need to act decisively, like this person in the picture here. You must avoid the quick fix. And also you must, if you find yourself in a position of leadership, know that your actions do affect people, and you are being tested. So it's really a need to get a handle on diminishing resources. And if those resources are social, spiritual, or physical, you cannot afford to be undisciplined. Your disciplined behavior will go a long way in helping you get out of this situation. Whether it's kind of a physical situation that's happening, I feel like it's physical with this card, and how physicality could be getting in the... Maybe it's your sense that you don't have the physicality that you would like, or you feel like you could better it. Maybe just by joining a gym and increasing the nutrition of your food might help you with the discipline, this discipline aspect. So don't be anxious, but also do not deny the energy that wants to assert itself through you now. You might have to act alone, but if you succeed, it'll benefit everyone around you. So I'm really seeing this as actually increasing your shape, like literally getting more in shape is going to help you so much. So for the partner of Libra, I'm getting hexagram number 15, which is modesty. This card is really telling us that to be modest and to find your own inner value is really going to go a long way in increasing your own sense of self-esteem and therefore trust in the relationship. So basically everything these days in society is expecting us to be more interesting or more glamorous. And every time we look at somebody else, it seems like they have it better. But it's usually the people who are really simple and who can just focus on attending to the small details and living in the moment. They're the ones that generally stand out. So this is a time where perhaps being in the background even with regards to your partner, being modest about your achievements is going to go a long way into creating the change that you are looking for. That is what is in your highest good. So modesty is basically having a healthy self-respect, but also of the needs of others. So remaining clear and thinking in balance is a really important part of this. If you act by overextending yourself physically, mentally, or emotionally, you're just going to have complications. So being moderate is just a call to keep things simple, and simplicity will create more space for what it is that you're looking for as well. Meditating can help you release that or help you find that intrinsic space. She even looks like she's meditating, and everything outside of her doesn't even really matter because she's in her own space. So just don't be distracted by all these colors, what you think other people have. You have that also within you, Libra partner, for sure. So just being humble and alert and patient is really going to be one way to transform things in the relationship as well. Just be in balance and find the alignment and be sincere and true to yourself is what this hexagram is really calling for. Okay, so these final cards are the 5th and 6th card, and this is basically the hexagram that really is telling you about your state of mind and on your own personal perceptions, hopes, and fears of one another. This can really be the catalyst for breaking down the thinking that's causing the problem, and you can create a new perspective that will support you in having a relationship that's not so defensive. So just be open to the images, and the words of this card can really help you both see your connection with fresh eyes. So I'm going to turn over both cards for you right now. This is hexagram number 5, and it's the hexagram of waiting. So just like you see, this is a pregnant woman, and it's basically saying that waiting is what is needed right now because the time for change is really just hasn't come yet. It might feel like you've just been waiting for something for so long from your partner, from yourself, or from that's getting in the way in the relationship. It might be causing tension. So you just need to calm down and realize that the change in progress right now is you can't even see it. And it's just, you just need to be that pregnant woman who's just not quite ready to give birth to a new perfect baby. So there's inner work. What can you do while you're waiting to make it more bearable? Well, you could try including a feeling of trust in your waiting process and understand that this deep process that's happening needs to be finished before anything outside of your reality can change. So it's not that anything is working against you right now, but if you want to find that sincere yes, you're going to need to be mature and understand that stepping away from things is somehow the best way to have your goals materialize faster. So again, it's telling you to stay positive and actually have a healthy body because you need a healthy body to create a healthy baby. So taking care of yourself, should be a priority from this reading. It's really coming through. And you'll find that any energy that you've been spent pushing for results has only been messing with your head and bringing you back. So it's creating more problem. So you're not going to push this change to come. And when it finally comes, you're going to be ready, really, really ready for it. So just be patient is what this is saying. Your partner has the family hexagram. And basically this is a beautiful kind of mosaic of all faces from all over the world. We have Asian, Caucasian, African American, African, Indian, old, young, female, male. So we're all members of this one human family. And as you can see, we all are faced with threats. And we all have our genetic cultures, and we have in the past fought each other for our own beliefs, but we have finally reached a place in this world where we can't have our relationships not be cooperative. So this is a card that's actually saying cooperation is the word of the day. Even in the globalization, cooperation is really the key. So this is, we have intelligence from the shared past. We have so much ability to share the wisdom from so many different cultures from the past. And while it can seem really challenging to incorporate this into our life, taking responsibility and not recreating the mistakes of the past means being respectful of people's differences is really going to go a long way actually in the relationship. So really just be aware that there is some cross-cultural variety that just needs to be respected right now, especially in this day and age. And so starting at home is the best way, just respecting your own family's differences. The difference in their age, the difference in, their gender can be a powerful way to catalyze change. You can really create that positive change by stopping trying to separate yourself from others or trying to manipulate others. So it's really time to let go of the belief that pain and discord is necessary to help us feel safe. So by accepting that and creating a difference, the change can begin with you. And so this card really speaks to me personally as well. So I'm definitely going to hold on to that and meditate on that. This final card is called your insight card, Libra, and it's really just the card that's meant to represent kind of all the changes that you've seen so far and give you insight into how all these different cards that we've gone through today can help you with the change that you're seeking in this relationship. So we have hexagram 64. Hexagram 64, we see a young boy crossing on ice, and you're worried for him because it looks like it's about to collapse. Will he get to the other side before completion? You may feel as though you're walking on thin ice in this relationship. Maybe even you both do. And to make matters worse, you might feel both a little bit exhausted and running on empty, but it's really important that you continue right now and stay focused. There could be some challenges, but really be cautious and continue on right now because you want to get to the other side before that proverbial ice cracks. You might have some really important karmic lessons to learn from this relationship or this month. It can be a tough lesson to learn that what you want to attain will take more than your own blood, sweat, and tears. And if it isn't supported by the right timing, it might not happen. So you really need to look at the nature of the setbacks. So what is it that makes you feel like you're walking on cracked ice with one another? Maybe that's something that you both need to meditate on and share to get to a stronger position. Maybe you've lost track of the original intention. You don't need to freeze up because there could be adjustments that will lead you to something even greater. So it's just natural that when anything seems to be near completion, there's some wobbling, and this is just nature, and you need to be gentle and just carry on. It's also a hexagram that indicates that if you find the direction you are going in is not the right one, you can abandon it. So he's got a lot of ways to go. He can go up, he can go down, but nevertheless, you need a firm footing and a cautious approach. So if you're impatient with the fact that you don't think you're going to make it, in terms of some sort of goal, just be aware that there are other people who really respect the choices you're making. Okay, Libra, thank you for listening. That was a really interesting reading. You can subscribe to this channel and just know that next month there will be a March reading. I do offer some private readings that are more specific, so you just need to email me for that. But otherwise, please subscribe and share, and I look forward to your next month's reading.